So today we are back on the bench. Gonna be basically looking to that don't fit. Looking to re-gear the Losi. And so I want to see what gears are in this. I know I had a lot of questions about watermelon over there on gearing. Honestly, I don't know the gearing, but if we have time in this video, I'm going to pop a wheel, pop the color or the cover to the clutch and take a look at the gearing. I don't have that one open because, like I said, transmission, all that's factory, and I just covered it up after I did the gearing. Where most of my other ones, because I built them as used RCs, like the Chevy 2 and the Mustang. Yes, the Mustang's on the bench. One that you haven't seen in the last few videos, because I just don't have enough room on the bench for all my drag builds. Mustang 5.0 is definitely one of my favorites, and with the limited wheels, limited quantity wheels on that, it's really it finally set it off. It's finally got the right stance. Now I do have to glue the front tires on that one, and I have to glue the front tires on the DR10. So the DR10 I want to get out, along with the Mustang I want to get out and get some times on them. So I do have to glue those wheels. But I want to see if I can hook up the new smart ESC programmer to the Losi and see what settings are at. What basically sets watermelon, which is my drag slash, what makes that one so special with the trans brake that everybody's calling it. I used to call it line lock. I mean, I've called it two-step. You know, they all basically do the same thing. But what makes something like that special is on 2S, there's only so fast you can go with gearing. Gearing's only going to help you out so much. So where do you have to make up the time on these drag cars when they're all basically, you know, limited to, you know, what motors, what gearing we can fit in there, that kind of stuff. What you're left with is your basically 60-foot time. You know, what's going to happen in that first, you know, 10 feet, you know, because we're racing to the 132 foot, you know, versus the 60 foot. So it would be 1/10 the scale, I guess. Somewhere around 10, 12 feet, something like that. I don't know exactly. But, or it could be 13 feet because it's 132 feet, 10%. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever that short track is, that's where we can make up the time. But you can only short track whatever the road's gonna hold. We don't all race on the same road, same temperatures, you know. If the road's real sticky, you know, because it is no prep, you know, if the road's at, you know, 120 degrees, guess what? Those orange tires are going to stick very well. Do we need purples? Purples are for colder weather. I mean, if you're out and your peak temperature is 40 degrees, guess what? Your tires aren't going to hook. Those orange tires aren't going to hook on that road. You're going to have to get them really hot. So that's where the different compounds come into play. And I try to stress this. Everybody's asking my gear combination and what tires do I run and this. You know what? I can give you my whole setup because it doesn't really matter. Not everybody runs in California. Most of the guys that I know are running on the East Coast. So my gearing's really not going to help you. My tire choice is really not going to help you. Those are things you need to learn for your area. And nobody can say that, you know, well, I gave him the combination and, you know, his combination sucks. It doesn't work. Well, you know what? It doesn't work for your area. That's the great thing about this sport, you know. But with all that said, you know, that's where a ready to run, they give you a good platform. And I feel that this Losi, dollar for dollar, everything that you're getting on this RC, I mean, the tires held up really well for California weather, you know. It hooked up. You know, we're coming to our summer months right now. The roads are pretty good, you know, and when I ran this Losi, I was running it at dusk because the road was too hot early on in the day. With these soft tires, and they're not that soft. I mean, I've seen softer, like, you know, the DR10, or the J Concept tires when they first came out. Those were really soft. I blew them out right away, just like I blew out the DR10 ones right when I got it because they were just too soft for California. But with all that said, I'm going to get to wrenching on this thing. Let me get you guys up in the air. With all that said, you know, you got to look at your area, you know. My area, the gearing and tire choice that I work out here isn't really going to work for you because top speed is going to be top speed. You know, you think it's a level playing field, but the time I'm getting for where I'm at could be, you know, better than the times you'll get for colder weather. So you just got to take a look at all that stuff, you know. That's where shock tuning comes into play. Cold weather, guess what? Thin shock oil is going to react different than thin oil that's out here in California. I might have to go thinner. You guys might have to go heavier. It's all tuning for the area that you're in. So, and a lot of guys, you know, are new to the sport, you know, and it's something you have to be aware of. You can ask for everybody's combination, but Losi's given you a great starting point, and I'm sure Traxxas has given us a great starting point with their ready to run. You know, I don't know what the times are going to be on that thing. I'm hoping it'll be decent, you know, but I don't know. You know, who's gonna know? We can't predict until we get our hands on it what it's gonna be like. I do know that the price point of the Traxxas is really what's got me pretty upset compared to, you know, this Losi with the aluminum chassis, you know, the metal steering servo, you know, that we're getting in this, the tunable ESC. These are all things that make it worthwhile. We get lights on the Losi. We don't get lights. We're going to have to buy them. They're probably going to be $99 for the Traxxas light kit for the drag car. I just, you know, I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of cool things on the Traxxas. You know, the Traxxas wheelie bar, it's got 5 positions and 2 sets of wheels. Well, guess what? This has got a turnbuckle. This has got 100 different settings. You see what I'm saying? Not just 5. It's got whatever settings we turn this turnbuckle to, you know? I don't know. There's just little things like that. Adjustability and quality is everything when it comes to a drag car. You know, Traxxas is still using the same old shocks. Now they say it's tuned, and they did tuning on their old shocks, which is probably playing with spring rates. I mean, I saw the blue stripe on it. You know, I've seen the blue stripe on some of my Slashes in the past. I did notice that their front shocks on Traxxas Ready to Run Drag Slash, it had the blue bump stops in there. Well, guess what? We were using fuel tubing. And like even these Losi ones, you know, I can tell that they're not full of fluid, you know. They're not the best quality, but guess what? They worked. And for $400, they worked pretty darn good. I don't know where the slipper is set up on this thing. I'm going to check the slipper clutch really quick just to see where they have it locked down at. So that's one turn. Almost 2 turns out. So this has got some pretty good slip to it. I'm sure of it. That's going to be fun to play with. This go around, I'm going to leave this cover off until I dial in the gearing on this. Gearing looks pretty darn small. That's a tiny, tiny pinion there. How many kVs is this? 6,500. That's probably why it's so tiny. God, that is a tiny pinion. Thing is so small. I don't know if I'm going to have any gearing for this thing. Then I wonder what the pitch is. This is where, you know, a lot of tuners and a lot of people that tune their RCs and get them to run, they get very concerned, you know, with people asking about gearing, you know, because they feel like, hey, I had to buy all these gears to figure out mine. Why don't you do the same? You know what? I don't really care. I'll share my gearing. I could care less. I normally switch everything over to Mod 1 because I have a ton of Mod 1 gearing. But when I noticed on a drag car, Mod 1 gearing doesn't always work. You need that, especially on a higher kV motor, you need that that smaller tooth design, that closer tooth design. You really do. God, this thing is so much bigger. What is this thing? This is a 23 tooth. This one, I want to say 18 tooth. I don't even know what comes on this Losi. And you got to find something that's not going to overheat the RC. So I don't see a number on this thing. So we're going to have to count it. I'm sure I can look in the owner's manual or find it someplace. But I'm old school. I figure this stuff out on my own. So I'm going to mark this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 tooth. Let's count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is a 16 tooth as well. So much smaller. (16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 7 teeth. Well, we're going to do that. We're going to go up 7 teeth, and we're going to give that a shot. Yeah. Throw a little Loctite in it because they will back out, especially running it as hot as we're going to run it. So Let that gum up a little bit. See, loose on that end and a little snug on that end, but it's gonna have to work. So that gearing should do okay. We'll test it tomorrow and see if we picked up any time. That's some pretty high kV. I would have liked to go up 4 teeth. I just don't have a pinion in between there. So we're going to start out with this. Now, like I said, I am going to leave this cover off. So hopefully when this wheel's on, I can get to it. And that should allow me to play with the slipper clutch off the line. Because I might need to lock it up sooner with the taller gearing, because I won't get as much wheel spin, I don't think, or I might have to loosen it up. I would imagine I would have to tighten it up, but you never know, not until you start running it. So let me see, I still can't get in. Oh yeah, I can. So through the wheel with the cover off, I should be able to go in there with this wrench and make an adjustment to the slipper clutch. So now that I got that done, we're going to try hooking up this tuner. It has a fan thing in the back. We should be able to plug into that fan and see where the settings are. So let me get a battery hooked up. I'll be right back. Alright, picked up a battery. Get this thing plugged in. I'm going to stick these rear wheels off the ground just because I don't trust RCs. Let's see if I can get this. So the black connector is facing me, or the black wire. There we go. Black wire towards me. I think that's in. Oh look, powered up. Connecting ESC. Please upgrade software. So I can't even tune it. I'll have to plug into a computer and upgrade software. I'm assuming that this has got some new latest drag software in it that this tuner needs to be upgraded for now. So I'll have to do that. So I won't be able to see what settings are in here. So good to know that we will have to, this is the first RC I've had since I bought this thing that I've actually had to, where it said upgrade the software. So this has got some new programming in it, which is good. That means something in this ESC has been changed. So I'm going to look into upgrading this. I think I still have the card to go to the computer, which I should. Most of my chargers are that as well. So I'll go on to Horizon site. I think it's Horizons, or I'll look into upgrading this thing. Maybe to Firma. Avian. Firma. I'll look up Firma and see if I can find Firma software and see if I can get an upgrade for that. So that's all I'm going to be able to do for today. Now I do have to glue some tires, but I think I've already showed you guys how to glue tires. I use, when doing tires, I use these things. Tire gluing rubber bands from J Concept. When doing these front skinnies, you really need to use these things. So let me show you that really quick now that this is done. I'm going to take off the front wheels on the Mustang. Now, when putting these wheels onto these slashes, I've showed this before when I was doing the Reefs wheels on all my RCs, is that you can't just put the nut on. You have to run a spacer. I use these little bearings. Try to find used ones or broken ones or ones that are wore out. This happens to be a new one. But you need that spacer to put pressure on this. Either that, or you'll have to change out these hexes to the deep hexes on the slashes. They do sell a wider hex, and then you wouldn't need this little bearing deal. I did do it on one of the RCs. I just can't remember which one. I put the thicker hexes on. The extended hexes, they're just wider. They pop in the same way these things do. But I have to do these and the DR10s so that I can get it out and do some time trials tomorrow with the DR10. So I just have to get them glued tonight so that they dry overnight. You never really want to glue your tires and then run them the same day. I use medium glue. Where is it? So I use a medium CA plus glue. And the reason I use medium, if you use a hard or strong glue, it tends to dry fast. And what happens is you can't get the tire round again with the rubber band. It'll actually glue right away in the wrong spot. So your tire won't be round. So you just have to be a little careful with the type of glue that you run when gluing tires. And because I use the medium on these fronts, for one, look, see, that's why I got to glue them. For one, medium, because they're not drive tires. I'm not driving off of them. They're just holding the tire into place. That's all it's doing. It's literally holding those tires into place. So let me pop out these rubber bands. And if you ask me where I bought this stuff, most of this stuff, these were $11.05. I bought these from my local hobby shop. Support your local shop. I can't say that enough. I don't have links to everything because I shop a lot at and it's not even my local shop. I drive an hour away to this hobby shop to get parts. But the part number from J Concepts is 2212-2. Says it's $13. I paid $11.05. So, and with these front skinnies, you only need one. If you're doing a wide tire, you can run 2 rubber bands. And you see, I'll put it on one side. I'm going to do the faces first. So you want it off to the side that you're gluing. And these little things are what you center it by. So that's how it's going to look. Put your rubber bands on first. Don't glue it and then decide you're going to stick the rubber bands on. You need the rubber bands on first. All right. So now that we got our 2 tires set up, these will be for the other 2. That's why I only do 4 at a time. Get your glue out. You're going to want to get, I use these Racer Edge. I use these little green things. Racer's Edge. Part number RCE 1005. These are to help you glue your tires. You just buy a package of them like this, made by Racer's Edge, because they're disposable. You can't keep them. Now the glue that I get normally comes with 2 of these when you buy tire glue. I don't use those long ones. They're just not strong enough. I like these short stubby ones because I'll get a curve to them and I'll be able to really get in there. So pop off this lid. This, always make sure your glue is sealed. These are just going to twist on. Make sure you twist them on nice and tight. All right. I know a lot of you guys already know how to glue tires, but there's a lot of people that don't know how to glue tires. So that's why I'm doing this. So I like to start at a letter so I know where to end up. And then with these aluminum wheels, you definitely don't want to get a bunch of glue coming out. So you got to be careful. Control your glue. So I'm going to start at the H. I push down with my thumb, right? I get the little nozzle in there. Make sure that I get some glue coming out. Once I see it coming out, I stop squeezing on the bottle. I'm just pushing down because I'm left-handed. This way you guys can see what's going on. I normally don't like to stop. I only squeeze the glue. See, I grab the glue and I'm not even squeezing the bottle. It's just I'm taking the glue that's in there, just kind of running it along the edge inside the tire. And these rubber bands are putting pressure on it so it immediately goes back into place. Remember, we're going to stop over at that H. So the glue had already walked over. All right. So now take a look at that. We're going to, a little bit of glue over there, but that's okay. We're going to let it dry like that. We're going to grab our next one. We're going to do the same thing. So this one, I'm going to start from the purple dot, since there's only one purple dot and not two H's. That way I know where to stop. Make sure your rubber band's in the right position. Let's get going. Now you definitely don't want this glue sitting open with this tip on it. So try to get your wheels ready, all the ones you're going to glue first, because you're going to want to do this as fast as possible so that your glue doesn't dry up or the tip doesn't get hard. And with these front runners, you don't need a lot of glue. If you're gluing rear tires, you're going to have to add a little bit more glue. But these aluminum front runner wheels by Reefs, you just don't need a bunch of glue. And the medium will be easier to get off when it comes time to change these tires. Now, to change these tires, it's going to probably be a while unless you crash it and ruin one of them, or hit something, or slice it, but that's what you got going on. So give me a second. I'm going to grab the other wheels. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. So if you don't have these fancy J concept deals and you still need to glue your tires, Game Changer, when you buy his fans, sends you rubber bands. Or if you have your daughter's or your wife's hair bungee, you can use that. Anything that'll put pressure around that tire, whether it's a rubber band, a hair scrunchie, whatever it is, you just need to get some sort of circular rubber band. If you don't have, like I said, these J Concepts rubber bands for tire gluing. If you don't have them, it's not a big deal. Sometimes they're out of stock. Parts are hard to get. So use what you can. Now, I know Tony, CCXRC, he only glued his front runners in spots, and I think he said he used shoe goo, I think is what he said. But I'm using regular tire glue, and I haven't had a problem yet with these Reefs wheels. Now, I did show the Morton wheels that you don't need glue. They have the beadlock, true beadlock wheels, front and rear, and those wheels are cheaper. But on these front runners, you just have more choices on wheels with Reefs. Reefs gives you a lot of different choices, and good company. You know, for him to offer wheels like this is pretty cool for us, for the enthusiast that really takes pride in his build. Now think about it, the money you're saving on getting Traxxas is $500 for their new drag slash. If you already own a slash that you convert it, might want to just pick yourself up some Reefs wheels and throw that on there, or maybe a good set of shocks. You know, you have to look at the total cost. All my drag slashes, I didn't buy them new. I think I only bought one new. Everything else I bought off OfferUp. I literally bought 11 chassis with a bunch of random broken slash parts from a guy for 180 bucks. And that's how I built the five of the drag slashes. The only one new that I bought out of the box was Watermelon. Watermelon was the only brand new slash two-wheel drive that I bought and built specifically for a drag car. All the other ones were used. And out of those 11 chassis that I got, now mind you, they were high center of gravity, so I had to buy low center of gravity chassis for $20–25. So, and then a couple of them I had to buy banded arms because they were slash arms on it. Most of them didn't have electronics. I think I only got one running RC, one broken RC, but it had electronics in it. I only got one Millennium system. Everything else was Castle systems in them. And that's how I was able to build all these slashes. Because I knew I had my kids each had a two-wheel drive slash that I bought them. They were out bashing, breaking parts. And that was the whole reason I bought these used RCs, was to rob parts off of them. And then when the kids stopped running the two-wheel drive and got into the four-wheel drive stuff, I converted them over to drag slashes, which were definitely, for me, funner builds than having a two-wheel drive slash for the dirt. Just wasn't a fun RC that way. Not for me, anyway. For the kids it was, when they were little. But when they got older, they just didn't like the two-wheel drives no more. They all wanted four-wheel drives. Which I don't blame them. So I usually trade them out. I'll take their old one and then get them a new one, because I definitely wanted to save each one of their first RC cars, you know what I mean? They hold a special meaning to me. So I know the new Traxxas Drag Slash should be in soon. I ordered the date of release on that thing. That's why I say get a hold of your local shops. Buy local. Because, you know, you can pre-order it the day of. Alright, the camera died. So I got those two glued. These are glued on the face. So we're going to move the rubber bands to the rear. Still a little wet on the front, but not too bad. Kind of want to give it at least, you know, 5-10 minutes if you can to glue each side. That's why I like doing 4, because by the time I finish 2, I can flip or finish 4, I can flip 2 of them over. That's it. Glued all the way around. And that's how I glue tires. So I'm going to get the tip thrown away. You can see it's now got a curve to it. See all the blackness in there. And that's it. Many tires as you need to glue. Just keep using it. But I need to get that bottle sealed up now. I need to get that tip off of there. So get the tip off. Get your glue snap back down so it's sealed. Get your lid on, because you definitely don't want it getting hard. And that's it. Dispose of this. There we go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on my next video. Thanks for watching.